Hello everybody, welcome to another cooking show with the Tater Cowgirls. Here's Adriana and we are both here today to make Kraut Crullers, or how we call it in Bavaria, in my hometown, Krautkrapfen. And I got a lot of feedback when I put it on Facebook if I should make those for you. I found a veganized, I tested a veganized version, and we will show you what we do today, okay? First thing first, you would preheat the oven to, well, actually we can preheat when the dough is rusting. Let's do the dough first and then we preheat the oven. Addie, I put Addie to work. I have benevolent bacon. She will cut it into tiny little pieces for the filling. So Addie, you go right here while we do the dough. And I need a avocado for that. If you have seen me making strudel dough, it's pretty much the same process. So I show you. Let's go down a little bit, a notch. You see here, yep, seed. Okay, what we do is we put, if you have bread flour, whole wheat bread flour, that works very good. Or what I have is the whole wheat pastry flour, that works good. It has more gluten in it than the normal flour. It makes the dough elastic. So we put 2 cups of that flour in our food processor with the dough kneader in it. We aerate the flour a little bit. All right. We put half a teaspoon salt in it. And then hold on, I need a knife. A knife, please. And then the recipe says 3 tablespoons of mashed avocado instead of fat, instead of oil or something. So let's see how much. I kind of remember it's always about half an avocado. 2. Yeah, this is a small avocado, so we can actually get a little bit more out. 3. You know. Okay. Put that away. Then we mash it a little bit with a fork. And you know, the avocado needs to be ripe, you know, not green, or this is a Haas. I bought it yesterday. It's just the perfect condition. It's not brown, but it's also nice and ripe, so a dark skin. Okay, let's put that in. It's our fat, and don't worry, the avocado has no taste in the dough. This is just our contribution. I need fat in the dough, and as I cook whole plant-based, rather I put that in than oil. And then we have where is it? Half a cup water mixed with half a tablespoon apple cider vinegar. This is that, but we don't put that in all right away. We put it in one by one. So let me put the lid on. in here. Put that a little out here. Okay. Just a little bit, whatever we need, you know. Start with a little bit. We put that in here. You can pour better from the measuring cups. Put one by one the water in. It just goes better, mixes better. We are done when it forms to a ball. You will see the dough becoming a ball. Almost there. See that? Dough to make. There's not much to it. Let's look it up. Here's our ball when I show you. See that? This is how the dough should look like. See that? And then you are done. That way. What we do now, this is done. Okay.
I'm done doing my part.
You cut the, very good, Eddie. Okay, we put a little bit. If you have a leftover flour, which I have, it's like an all-purpose flour. And it doesn't matter which one in this case. You put it on your tray. You just make sure you have all the stuff mixed together. Careful. We just knead it a few more times, you know, that all the little dough particles are incorporated in the dough. You already see how elastic it gets. This is the gluten, you know, it makes it elastic and not sticky. Should not be sticky, the dough, at all. Okay, now we need this one, plastic wrap. Wrap the dough. And please do not put it in the fridge. I see this several times and people in the recipes when they say put it in the fridge. No, this dough has to rest about half an hour right out here somewhere. Okay, let's put it here. And then we go from there. We can do our filling now. Now we heat the oven to 375. Start.
This clock.
And then the clock. Timer. We do. Hold on. I put about 30 minutes, that we know how long the dough rested. We will cut the movie when we have the filling simmering, and then go back to it. All right. So.
It's going on 9 minutes. It's reheating and then it goes on 9 minutes.
Yeah, that's okay. We are not in a rush. Let's put the dough over here because we are done with this for a while. Okay. Addie, let me show you what she did. So you have different choices. The real recipe from my grandma, of course, is asking for a lot of butter for the dough, and is asking for bacon for the filling. We took that one, benevolent hickory smoked bacon, which is tempeh, and she cut that in little pieces. See that? So we took that, and it's about let's see, I took 2 of these, so it's about 300 grams together. This is, I took 2 of these bacon packets, so we need that. We need sauerkraut, and sauerkraut. See, my grandma, we lived in the most southern part of Germany, the highlanders in the Bavarian Alps. They're not really rich people, and my grandma had a restaurant. She also, she not, but my aunt and my great-great-grandmother, they were midwives. So there wasn't a lot of money around, and she cooked seasonal. And in winter, she made sure we ate a lot of sauerkraut because it has a lot of vitamins in it. It's a vitamin bomb, the sauerkraut. And if you like it, you are lucky. My husband doesn't like it so much, so but I like sauerkraut. I even like it raw. Take a few forks raw, put it on my sandwiches. So we need about, these are 17 ounce. Is that 17? Look at it, my eyes are getting so.
This is 32 FL.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 32 ounce.
FL.
Yeah, that's ounce 32. And it's a glass of sauerkraut. This is the 365 from Whole Food. I like the German wine sauerkraut. I couldn't find it this time. They usually have it at Whole Foods, but the 365 is good too. Just organic, good sauerkraut, please. And you take it out of the glass. And please keep the fluid. We need the fluid for later. So just put it in a colander. Let the fluid go out as much as possible. I even squeeze it a little, that the fluid goes out, because we need that fluid later. See, there's still enough water in there, so. All right, so that's what we need. We put that away. We also need 3 scallions. I washed them. We need to cut them, put the lid up. We need to get that pan really hot, because we will water sautee with vegetable broth. That's another thing I recommend. So I have 4 cups of vegetable broth here. I always keep them when I cook this. You might not need the whole thing, but have it handy so that you can add if you need to. Let that heat really good. Cook and cut our scallions. And I put the green parts in too, as long as they are fresh and look good. I have no problems with that. Okay, put that away. Let's see how it works. Yeah, see, it's sizzling, so we can start water sauteing. Put the scallion in. And a tiny little bit of broth, not much, just a little bit, so you have something on. That one here. Let that sizzle. A little bit more broth. Okay. we put in half a teaspoon caraway seed, bayleaf we do later. We put in half a teaspoon liquid smoke. I have that liquid smoke hickory that complements the bacon. The caraway seed gets a little toasted when you do it in the beginning, so I like that. I will wait with salt because the sauerkraut is salty, the broth is salty, the bacon is salty, so I'm gonna wait until everything has simmered before I even add salt. Maybe we don't need to add salt. It's everybody's liking. Okay, let's just do this a little bit. I was horse riding yesterday. I gave myself horse riding lessons for Christmas. I made myself a present, and yesterday they started at Dream Power where I volunteer. It's a therapeutic place with horses as therapists and dogs, where soldiers with PTSD get treated, or at youth risk, or special needs kids. I volunteer for them and donate. I really like them. I love them. The horses are my friends. So they offered riding lessons with a very good riding instructor. Eddie is there in the hitch team. She's driving carriages, sulkies. And so yesterday, we were so lucky with the weather. At 9 o'clock with my riding lesson, the weather was fine. At noon it was already raining again. We have big rainstorms right now. So I was happy. I was riding Chester, one of my favorite horses. And it's just doing good. It's lifted me up, and that's my recommendation. If the weather depresses you, or if for some reason you are not in good mood, do something. Do the best you can for yourself. Think of something that will lift up your spirit. It can be reading a book, watching a movie, going for a walk. Do something that lifts you up. In my case, it was riding. I love riding, I love horses, and I had to do something for myself, not just looking at all other people and accommodating them. Anyway, okay, how does it look? Good? Yeah. Okay, now we put the sauerkraut in. Gives it a little bit more liquid and will loosen the brown stuff on the bottom of the pan. That's one of my non-stick pans, so it's perfect for this cooking. Okay, we put the liquid away. Don't put it in, don't put it in. Put a little bit broth in here, just to let it simmer. I think I used a cup so far. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just distribute it a little. I think we need more. It's too dry. Let's put a little bit more in. It goes later in there. Okay. We are at right now. Let me see. We had 4 cups. We are at 2.5. Almost. Well, 2.5 cups are left right now. Okay.
This is 20 minutes.
Okay, good. So what we do now is we let our sauerkraut simmer, not in hot and full speed, just that it does a little cooking action. And we add a bay leaf. Where is the bay leaf? Here. We add a bay leaf. You can add juniper berries if you have them. Oop, I don't. And we add 1 apple. The apple gives it, I have 1 apple that needs to go, so that's a good one to add. And what I do is, I don't want the
Skin.
the peel, the skin for that. You could, actually you could. It really doesn't matter. I don't. I want it to cook completely in the sauerkraut. It gives it a nice tangy flavor. Turn it down a little bit more, Eddie, just a tick. I only want it to simmer, not to boil around away. It's not as important how big the apple is, just take one. This is a gala I have here. So, nobody eats it because there's a hole in it, and of course if you see a hole, nobody will touch that apple ever. I know that, so I had to cook something to use the apple. And this is my...
Had a hole in it.
Huh?
Had a hole in it.
Yeah, well, somebody, you know, when you put something in the refrigerator and then it poked and the apple was lying there. Not a big deal. It's a perfectly fine apple. I think our bunny will eat the peels.
Yeah.
You want to give it to her?
Sure.
Like some of them. Yeah, put it in her cage. You want all of them?
Sure.
She will eat it. She loves that. We have animals. As you know, my daughter is a vet tech. We always have animals at home. This one is Bun Bun, our rescue bunny. They found on the street, so we have somebody eating our vegetables. Okay. The bayleaf I always put in so that I can find it and put it out again later. I don't like it in my filling. Okay. You know what? I put another half a cup in there. I want enough liquid in there, but not the liquid from the sauerkraut. Okay. So now we put the lid on and let it simmer. Here it says 16 minutes until our dough is done. That's about right. I let it simmer on low heat until everything is nice and soft, and I will show you when it's done. See you in a few. Hello, we're back. So our dough has rested for about half an hour. And our sauerkraut here is done. We can turn that off. I took the bay leaf out. I tasted it. This is the time to taste the kraut. If you need salt, I didn't. What I added was a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Use the brags. If you have white wine or wine vinegar, that works too. And I didn't need any more salt, but this is up to you. It depends also on the sauerkraut, you know, what you have. Okay, we let that just sit there, do nothing. Right, I can show you how it looks. This is the sauerkraut with the benevolent bacon and apple. If you see one or a few apples, that's okay. That is not a problem. So we let this sit here and let it cool down a little. And we take our rested dough. It looks like that. Knead it just a little on a little flour on the board. Knead it just a little bit more. Then we take I have that flour here. Take a little bit flour top, and then we wallow it out much as we can. It doesn't have to be as thin as we had. Remember the strudel dough, you had to wallow out really thin. It is thin, but not as thin as the strudel dough, so it's a little bit less work. But see, it shouldn't be, the dough shouldn't be sticky. You see, it's a really good dough to roller and make a kind of a square. Okay, a little bit more. I always use my board here, you know, like the length of my board. You can either, you know, remember the strudel dough, we did this and dragged it out. You can do that with that, but not this much, so don't make it too thin. It's not necessary. Okay. You want to waller a little, Eddie? Okay, just try to get it like squarish a little bit. All right, good job. Okay, I gotta let her do more, you know. She wants to cook too. Yeah, looks good. A little bit here. Yeah. You want me to turn it for you?
Yeah.
And do it a little bit here. It's pretty thick here. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Good. Okay. We are there. Okay. That's the best square, I think. This one around. Hole, we want to fix that hole. Okay, this should work. Cut that off here because we want a square. Yep, let me put it here. Get a little hole in there, and we just fix it as good as we can. Roll it out. And we have a nice border here. So now we need, when you know that already, my strudel dough towel. Fold it up. Put the towel here, because it's easier to roll when you have a towel. All right. That's it. I think we should waller it a little bit out here, make it more even. Hold on. Put it up here. So the dough is really easy to work with, as you can see. It's not a hard dough to work with. It's an elastic, gluten-rich dough. Okay. So we will start putting the kraut. We will put the filling. We start putting here, okay? And what we do is the filling. See here, I have the sauerkraut liquid. I have my colander on top. Can you hold the colander here on the just here? And I put the sauerkraut in the colander to get the rest of the liquid in the pot in our filling, in our liquid. All right. can you mash it a little that the liquid goes completely out? I get my other pot. And remember, we have the oven at 375. So that's gonna be important for later. Okay, you mashed it good?
It's still kind of like...
That's okay. You know, it doesn't have to be completely dry. Alright. So what we do now is we put the filling on. And you want it almost all the way to the border. Because what we do is crullers are little pinwheels, so you really want it, even if it falls out, you know, it doesn't matter. But you really want it all the way to the border, not like at the strudel where we kept a little border and we tucked it in, remember? And we only had the filling here. So for the crullers, we need to do it different. Oh, the filling. I think that's enough. Could even do another dough. Okay. Now we put it over it like this. Roll it in like this. The last one I always roll here to have it nice, you know, the thing here. And what I also do is show you. Take a little soy milk and glue it on there. Just that I have it that glues a little bit better, you know. Okay. Now, what we do now, so this is not a dough, this is not a strudel, as you know. So, we need a good knife. I have one here. Keep that on. Oh, no, that's not a knife. Where's my knife? Here. Okay, we do about, see that, what is that, 3-4 inches? What is that?
I don't know.
Estimate? Let's see how much we get in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we have 5 inches, 5 crullers in here, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like here maybe, huh? 1. This is the first crull. Oh, we have to heat the
Pot first?
the pot really hot.
Yeah.
So let's do that first. And I cut my crullers. You see what I do? Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 2. You don't want them too thin. You want them in a nice 3, 4, 5. And here. Huh? How about that? I did not do Instapot recipe. I tried it once, and it came out too soggy because we want a little crust on them on the bottom, and you know. So I do not recommend doing it in the Instapot unless I find a different way to make them crusty a little. Okay. Let's see. Let's do our test here. Take a little broth. See, it's sizzling. Tiny little broth. Okay. And get the crullers in. Make them stand. have to cut them all the way through. Not like me, half. And don't, you know, put it back in. If it falls out, put it back in. Doesn't matter. This is for later. You don't need this right now. Second cruller. There's another one. Filling goes in. You want the nice filling in. Put something in from the pot. Problem.
It's like tiny burritos.
Huh?
It's like burritos.
Yeah, kind of. And you need a, if you do it like me, you need a pan that's absolutely fat-free cooking, because otherwise they burn, you know. That is my best pan for that. Yeah, fill the crullers up to all the way.
Oh, wait, I can see.
Put one in the middle. Show you. What we do now, we let them a little burn on, you know, let them a little burn there. So, towel we take away in the wash. I only use the towel for strudel and Krautkrapfen. Okay. So, we need our liquid here. This is the next thing that goes in.
We're gonna pour it.
I put the broth in. But I keep 1 cup in there. Maybe 1 cup. Yeah, you don't need more. Okay, and then I need a spatula. See how they are doing. See how our rollers are doing. This was the first one I put in, I think.
Yep, it will.
Yeah. Looking good. This was the one at the end.
The one that's really hard to flip now?
Huh?
The one that's really hard to flip?
Yeah, that's okay. That was the end here, has a little bit more dough than the others, but that's okay. I like those actually. It's the end. Okay, here's the next one. Then we have this one. Ooh. Okay, that didn't go so well. Okay, now works. And this one here. Okay, see the little browning it has, the browning action. I show you later, close by. That's the one that's a little odd shape, but it looks good. Okay. So I show you the little browning action that goes on. That you like that later, so you don't have to turn it anymore later. What we do now is we put that liquid in, you know, the one we saved from the sauerkraut, and the one, the broth. Let it come to a full boil. Then it goes in the oven at 375. About 20 to 30 minutes. I would look into it. I start looking into it after 15 minutes. There's not anything in that has to be cooked really, you know. So 15, 20 minutes, depending on your oven. Leave it in 30 minutes if you want to. I will put the lid on and put it in with the lid. I will take the lid off the last 10 minutes so that they get a little bit more browning. Don't put them in without lid for the whole 20 minutes. Your dough will get too hard. You know, you don't want to have it too hard. You want a crust on top, but not the whole cruller part. See, let it come out. It comes to a boil. So this goes in the oven now. And we put the timer on. I put the timer on 20, but I start looking at 15 minutes. Okay. When you start looking at 15 minutes, should the fluid completely be gone, here is more to put in. So we keep that. The broth I have, the cup of broth I still have. You keep that. We make a dill sauce, as you know, and we can make that right away. I cut about a 1/4 cup fresh dill, and you know how to do that. You don't use the stems, right? Let me show you. Let me show you. The way you do dill. Where is it? Yeah, is it here? Yeah, this is fresh dill. The way you do dill is you take the stem and you put it backwards like this. See, it goes really easy. Then you have your dill, okay? So don't cut all the stems in it. It's not really. Yeah, floss a little. Show us how to floss. Yeah? Oh yeah, you can see. You have to put the camera up. You want to see her floss?
Okay.
Let's see if I think I can use her.
To do this and then go.
Oops. Punishment comes right here. Because my photo went out. Okay. So this is my 1/4 cup dill, and then I have chives. I cut chives about a tablespoon. About that, yeah. I would say tablespoon. All right. So we take our NutriBullet, put that in.
You're making the cow shake now?
Put that in. We put in a, let's see, I would say this is half. This is a 1/4. Here's the other one. Shaloo. This is half. Okay. Here's half. Half a cup. And this is sour cream, vegan sour cream. Called tofuti. I like it in there. Tofuti sour cream from Whole Foods. This goes in there. And half a cup soy milk. And you shake the milk before you use it, please. Otherwise you have this gray colored milk. Caca milk. Caca looking milk. Alright. Put it in the NutriBullet. This can go. Nice green. This is our dill sauce, handmade dill sauce we make for the crullers. To me that always tastes the best, I don't know. So we have about a tablespoon all-purpose flour in this. I have a whole wheat pastry, I guess actually. any flour you want to take. In this pot, we heat it with half an avocado. Mash the avocado in there, put it in the in the flour, mash it. Get a little burn action here, like a roux. We make a roux with the flour and the avocado, okay? What we basically do. Okay, don't worry if it looks like it burns. It won't. We open that up. Take a little bit of the cup. A bit more. It's called roux, what we do. The base of a sauce, and we can make a dill sauce. Like a green sauce, green whitish sauce. We put that one in. What I do at the end, I put a little broth in here. And, let this come to a boil. And whisk. Maddie, can you keep whisking? Like this?
It's like a smoothie.
Yeah. It's a dough sauce. With the broth, we shake out all the goodies here from the NutriBullet. And as always, I put the recipe underneath the movie so you have all the measurements, okay? Now we need for the salt. A little bit. I would say quarter teaspoon salt enough. It's up to you. Some need more, some need less. We put ground black pepper in it. About a quarter teaspoon, I guess. If at all. I like black pepper. Alright. We put a quarter teaspoon onion powder in it. I could have done that in the NutriBullet, but I like to do it at the end because then I have more, you know, what I want to add. And this is garlic powder, quarter teaspoon. And I always put a little lemon. It's not in the recipe, but I always put a little lemon juice in it. Little sprinkle. Right, so we let it come to a boil. It's okay, fine, looks good. Let it come to a boil. And see, it depends how thick you want it. If you want it thicker, what you do is you add, where is it? Rice flour. No, that's the spelt. That's not the one. Hold on. Here. Brown rice flour. You add maybe a tablespoon brown rice flour. Rice flour doesn't clump. The other thing, you can do potato starch. That would work too. Come to a boil first. You want to try the dill sauce?
Sure.
Here, try it. You could put a little tamari in it instead of rice, but then the color is not so nice. It gets browner, and I don't like that. Good. I think. You know what? I think I put, just to show you, I put a tablespoon rice flour in it, just to show you what happens. I like it actually thinner here, but I want to show you. Okay, rice flour. It thickens really fast.
Oh, so you really.
Yeah, they do. And you know how to do that? Don't double dip. People don't like when you double dip.
What double dip?
When you have used your spoon and you go in there again. But it's our party. It's just us who eat those, so it's not a big deal. Okay. I show you how to see if the sauce is right. Let it reduce a little. So if you put the sauce and you strike through it, see how thick it is? It stays as it is. That's usually my thing that the sauce is thick enough. But it's up to you. You can make it even thicker with another tablespoon. I wouldn't. So if I would dip it in there again, this is double dipping.
I don't do that.
If you have strangers eating with us, we don't do that, but it's just us eating, so it doesn't make a big deal. Okay, we can take that away. Now it's about 8 minutes to go. I think we should look in our crullers.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
Careful, they are hot, of course. They look good. Liquid is enough. What we can do is just the liquid.
You need to take off the lid first.
Yeah, we take the lid off now. Ah, I said enough liquid. I take the lid off now. And I put it back in the oven for the last 10 minutes, 8 minutes, so that they get a little browner on the top side. And that's basically it, what we have to do. If you have broth left over, just keep it, don't throw it away. You need it for the next meal. I just like to have 4 cups of broth, because then you have it handy when you need it and don't have to start making it again. Taco is not behaving today. Okay. Where did that go? Put that away. Let's see. The sauce. Yeah, the sauce. Oh, look how thick the sauce is now.
Oh my god.
See that?
How did it get so thick?
Yeah, so this is how it shouldn't be thicker actually. Oh, I make good. Keep a lid on it. Actually, I think we could do a little bit broth in there. Got a little bit thick because I put the rice flour thinner. The broth, you know, will add flavor, so don't worry about it. Just make sure the sauce is nice, greenish white. If you put stuff in like liquid smoke or brown wine or whatever. The sauce looks awful, I can tell you, and nobody wants to eat it. Okay.
Hey! Puppies?
Cleaning up a little. It's not really a lot of work, it's just waiting for dough, waiting for sprout. But the kraut should be not too soft, you know, you want the kraut nice and tidy. Vitamins. The leftover kraut, as you saw, I have a little bit of leftover, not much actually. I put in a bowl. I put in a tupper bowl. And that's really good on sandwiches. If you make sandwiches, like a Reuben vegan sandwich, you put it in your sandwich. Oh, that's so good. What you can also do is a tortilla. You can make wraps with it, you know, put some other stuff in it. Like a cucumber or pickles or whatever you like in your wrap, or tomatoes or an avocado. So I put that away.
Yeah, my good puppies. My good puppies. Taco. No, my you want taco. No.
Okay.
No.
Our circus clowns here. They want to be in the movie. Okay. And I come back. Should we wait for the crullers?
Sure.
It's only 3 minutes. You see how the sauce is? I'll show you the sauce again. We get a plate out. See the sauce? Nice and thick. Okay. Plate out. Check my crullers. 2 more minutes. Okay. Ah, it's hot.
You're burning your towel.
What I do is make them a little the broiler on a little. I'm just experimenting here, okay? Never did that before, but let's see if it gets a little browner on top. This is when you cook without fat. My grandma would pour in the end a little melted brown butter on top. And yeah, it did the trick, but we don't do it. So we just bear with a little less brown crullers, but you know, it's all worth it. Let's see if it works. see if the broiler is on. Yeah.
Tackle.
Say under the broiler. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and I hope it's not too boring. So what do you want to talk about the 2 minutes? How can we bridge that? Horse riding was good. What is Addie doing these days? Gaming and riding a carriage. Her carriage lesson got cancelled today, of course. It's snowing, it's raining outside, pouring. We have a rainstorm. And, well, and there's all indoor action today. So cooking today was actually nice. Oh, weight loss, 110. My challenge right now, sometimes it's 111 pounds. My challenge right now is actually maintaining weight, which is also not easy. So you have to gradually take back avocado, seeds, nuts. I don't do oil or butter, not at all. But I need to get a little bit fat in so that I can maintain my weight. And which is nice, you know. Now and then I eat an almond milk ice cream because I have a sweet tooth. But I have to be careful not to overdo it. Actually, my stomach doesn't like it when I overdo too much sugar or nuts or stuff or salt even. So it's going well. Let me show you. I think it's visible. The horses thank me for losing that weight. Anyway, so let's look at our crullers, okay?
Tackle move.
Yeah, it's hot, Tater. You better move. Yeah, looks good. Looking good here. So we put one. The one in the middle goes best. Put it here. Yeah, put our sauce around. Like a real chef would do it. Hold on.
Goofy.
So this is what the real chef would not do. We pretend we do it. This was meant to be a little drip. And a little drip right here. You know what? I just put a little bit here. Okay. This is Krautkrapfen, Kraut Crullers with still sauce from my Oma's recipe, but veganized, whole plant-based, oil-free. I hope you like it. Oh, we need to try it, right?
Yeah.
Always forget to try stuff. You want to a fork and a knife? You want to get one? You're not a sauerkraut fan, so I'm looking forward to see your face. I'm a sauerkraut fan. I like it.
Can you cut one piece for me?
And dunk it in the sauce. It's important. So healthy. It's hot here.
I like sauerkraut. What are you talking about?
You like sauerkraut? All right, we won a sauerkraut fan. The crowd won the crowd. Actually, Eddie is born in the USA. I'm still a Kraut. Well, American citizen, but I was a Kraut. Okay, this is it. Have a good rainy or sunny weekend, whatever you have in your hometown. And hope you come back next weekend to another cooking rodeo with the Tater Cowgirls, and enjoy your Kraut Crullers when you make them. I put the recipe right underneath the video, okay? Peace out. Bow.